right. Good Monday morning, everyone. Happy May. Oh my gosh, I don't remember the last time we actually went live on the first of the month. That was a Monday. So happy May, everybody. This year has flown by. You guys are listening to Author Talk with me, Amy Russell Fern, and our lovely author guest today is Christine. So you guys, let's dive into the weekend, shall we? Because we all have fun stories for all of you. So I did what Russell told me not to do, and I installed Backsplash with my husband, right? Which is just kudos to us for getting this done, because let's be completely honest, this crap was friggin' hard. Okay, it was hard.
I told you.
I'm gonna show you just in pride. I'm just gonna show you because
wow.
We also did the uplighting and whatever for it. So let's just dive in, okay? So
it's beautiful, Amy. It's beautiful.
Home renovations, the stuff divorces are made from.
I know. I tried to tell her.
That's what Russell said. Hey, good morning, everybody. So actually, to be quite fair, me and my husband do DIY projects pretty well together, but he does irritate me in the sense where he likes for me to be his assistant. And that, in terms for that, is I do all of the crap work and he gets to like mix the mortar or whatever it is, lay the tile and cut the tile, and I'm the one cleaning it up, cleaning his tools. And so we did have a scuffle over that comment that I made, which made for an eventful weekend, to say the least. My kids watched a lot of Blippi, to be completely honest, this weekend, so we could get this done. But I am going to also do my island in a stone that works, but with the uplighting, because that was pretty easy to do. And so now we're going to tackle painting, which we have talked about painting for, I don't know, since we moved in.
Don't do it.
No, painting is very therapeutic, actually.
Painting, yeah, painting's okay. We painted our bathrooms and got along pretty well because we were in separate bathrooms and it worked wonderfully. But on top of that, I also had a book launch this weekend, or this week, last week on Thursday, for Damon Manx and his Manxiety, which did hit #1 and became a bestseller. I believe his promotion is still running, so make sure that you go and take advantage of that. Tonight is the night for Through the Eyes of Authors, and we're going to be talking about how to run Amazon ads without breaking your bank account. We know that everybody wants to run ads and make money from their books and sell them, but we don't want to spend thousands of dollars to do that in running ads. So tonight we're going to learn how to do it on a cost-effective way and to get the most bang for your buck tonight for Amazon ads for Through the Eyes of Authors. But what did everybody else do this weekend? We were having such a great snarky conversation before we all got started. So who wants to go first? Russell, you're muted, so I'm going to go to Fern. Fern, what did you do this weekend?
Well, this weekend, and I'm getting ready for Russell's comment here. This weekend, my parents and I went on a road trip to Brownsville, Texas, and we visited Mrs. Loya, who is 103 years old. Wow. And she is the mother of my pastor growing up, and she was always in the church and active, and she was always such a blessing in my life. And we really wanted to get to see her and spend a little time with her. We did not stay too long because, you know, she is older and she gets...
And because it is in Brownsfield.
Actually, I'm going back to Brownsville next weekend to enjoy a little
okay, for the rest of the country, you need to tell the rest of the country what it's like to drive between Houston and Brownsville and be honest.
It's actually quite nice when you're the passenger.
Oh, you're such a liar. Oh, it is an awful drive of nothing forever.
This is true. This is very true. It is a nothing, flat, just boring. Yes.
It's not as bad as El Paso. I mean, El Paso is the same way. When you go from Houston or San Antonio to El Paso, it's flat and the tumbleweeds are the most entertaining thing on the road.
Indeed.
So it's similar to that. It's similar.
Indeed, but it was worth it, and it was a really good. Now we are exhausted because we literally left on Saturday and we came right back on Sunday. So, but I didn't have to drive because my dad drove, and so on that note, I don't feel it as bad, but I will next week when I'm, in the midst of driving it myself. But that's what we did. And I thought it was really a beautiful, beautiful time. So, and we discovered a brand new restaurant that was not there before.
Yeah, but it's in Brownsville, so it's what?
Still yummy.
It's like a TGNY.
Oh my God, guys, speaking about
it's a different Taco Bell.
No, it's really good. So we went to the oyster bar for dinner, and
nice.
Now the oyster bar, there's really fresh shrimp and fish because the port is right there. And let me tell you guys, the oyster bar placemats have been the exact same placemats from when I was a kid. I took a picture of it, put it on my Facebook because it was just adorable. I was just like, oh my God, nothing has changed. Basically, it's exactly
wow.
But the shrimp is
delicious. Sometimes, when things work, you just don't change it. You just don't. If it works, it works. I like it. And it's
why mess with a good thing?
Yeah. Well, I'm driving back. Somebody was asking. I'm driving back for a writer's time. I'm gonna head over to have a writer's weekend just to write, relax. I'm gonna head over to South Padre Island, chill on the beach, that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be a me weekend this next time.
Nice. We all need one of those.
Especially after all the crazy drama in my life these last 2 weeks. Oh, Lord Jesus.
It has been definitely a roller coaster. Life is an adventure. It's an adventure and a journey, right? Puppies and rainbows.
I needed my pastor's prayers to exorcise some demons or whatever. I don't know what's coming against us, but the world has become nuts. So Russell, what were you up to this weekend?
Well, before I talk, I want to listen about Christine because she said that she took her daughter on a helicopter ride this weekend.
Yes.
I got to hear it.
I did. So on Friday night, I had a date with my son and we went rock climbing. But on Saturday, the Girl Guides of Canada hosted an event to encourage females in aviation, basically. So they hosted this event where they had all these military jets, cargo planes, and that we could board. And they also took us on a free helicopter ride, as well as they had law enforcement agencies there. We were blasting fire hoses and went up in the big ladder truck on the cherry picker up high and was able to look out at the view. And the police cars were there in full force, and they loaded us into the cars and took us on high-speed obstacle course chases. So it was really an exciting event, and the girls had an absolutely wonderful time. And we got to go in a helicopter. How cool is that? And the whole thing was sponsored by the Girl Guides of Canada, so it's completely free for families, all ages, all genders. Welcome.
Wow, I love that. A high-speed obstacle course. I'm there. That sounds freaking awesome. And the helicopter. I do have a thing though about
you're not so high-speed obstacle course.
I would love that. I'm not gonna lie.
Not
I would
Amy.
love that. Oh, Russell, you are just anyway.
You're more
I would love
bulldozer.
that. Russell does not believe that I would, but I do when I'm in my car, even though it is a full-size SUV, I am Mario Andretti. Okay, let's just face it. When my kids aren't in the car, I have my sunroof open, my windows down, and I'm hauling it as long as there's not a cop. Okay, as long as there's not a cop, I'm hauling it. I love it. I would totally do that. As for the helicopter ride, I think that's freaking cool. I would never do that just because I'm not a good flyer. I just know I'm not.
Well, you didn't have to drive the helicopter.
Amy, you actually may do that this year because you're going hiking in Kauai, Hawaii. And actually, the greatest helicopter ride in the world is in Kauai because you can ride a helicopter all over to not only the volcano, but I actually rode this once. You can get in a helicopter and they'll fly close to a waterfall that's falling 100 feet above you and goes 100 feet below you. It's the most beautiful thing you ever saw.
Maybe.
You're gonna have to do it, Amy. It's actually not scary at all. It's a very smooth experience. I asked him how fast we were going. He said something like 155 miles, and we were just on a little, but it felt like we weren't even moving at all. Like we were going very, very slowly.
If I do, I will take photos and videos because I will probably be screaming my head off, just to be completely honest. I'm not going to lie with you. See, Russell, I do drive fast. I don't know who that is, but I do, or how they know. My favorite saying is from The Hangover, but did you die? I tell that to Josh every time he gets in my car. So it's just how things go, Russell. But what did you do this weekend, Russell?
I went to a black tie wedding at the Hotel Zaza in Houston, and we had a great time. That's my wife and I at the hotel right after the wedding at the reception. We had a great time. I had to go through 3 ties before I got a tie that would work. So I had some catastrophes that night, but we had a good time. The next morning, we had to get up at 8 o'clock for Little League's granddaughter game. Christine, I have a 5-year-old granddaughter and 2 twin 2-year-old granddaughters.
Oh, wow.
And I'll spend a couple of hours with them, and then I have to go take a nap.
Oh,
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
No, I don't know how my daughter does it. She's like a super power person. I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway.
she has to be.
Yes. So that's what I did this weekend. We had a great time. The Hotel Zaza is the sexiest, weirdest place I've ever stayed. I loved it. If you're in Houston, you should stay at the Hotel Zaza. And there's a new French Impressionist exhibit opening up at the Fine Arts Museum across the street. It hasn't opened yet, but I'm going to stay there next time I go to Houston, and I'm going to go to the exhibit.
Well, that sounds like a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And to echo the ladies, you do clean up very well. There's lovely photos of you.
Thank you.
Anytime. Well,
I thought it was pretty ugly, but that's another story.
You really do look good, sir. As a penguin.
As a penguin.
I love it. I love it. Well, Russell, it's
yes.
time.
We need to thank the people that listen to us on the podcast. More people listen to us on the podcast by far than listen to us any other way. We're on all the channels. We're top 10 independent book podcast in America. We want to thank people that are listening to us about that. Amy, where can they find us? And by the way, I now can find us, and I think it's because of the new standard picture that you have on it. And it was actually the first on the list of author talks, because there's like 50, Christine, author talks. But we were the first on the list on the podcast channels that I looked. I was so excited that I put them on our Facebook channel. Amy, where can they find us?
Well, I'm doing something right when Russell can find us and we're the first ones that pop up for Russell. So I feel very accomplished for the entire week, to be completely honest. But
it was stunning. I was so excited.
I know. You sent me a photo. I love it. But you guys, you can find us anywhere that you can find a podcast. Amazon Music, Spotify, Good Pods, Apple, Google, anywhere that you can search for a podcast, you can find us. Type in Author Talk. And like Russell said, our picture will show up. And it is the crimson, red, and gold Author Talk in gold. We have all of our episodes up. But if you want to see us from the very beginning, when we first started, our YouTube channel has all of those. And if you like to watch us, because me and Fern control what comes out of our mouth, but not our facial expressions, we're very animated. You are more than welcome to subscribe to our YouTube channel or join us over on Facebook and our Facebook group. We're pretty active. We highlight authors, book launches, things like that going on top of seeing all of our beautiful faces and our animations. And if you want a good chuckle, make sure you go over there. Feel free to follow any of us on social media. We're all open books. We're all public in any way that we can help you. If you want to be on our show, yes.
Yeah, some of us are not public anymore because we have been under attack by some trolls who apparently feel that my smoking means I cannot be a good teacher. And to that, I just say, whatever.
Yes. Well, but you can request to be her friend if you want to. Now, if you want to be on the show, I have to make sure I mention this or I'm going to get a mean glare from Russell. Please send me a direct message. My emails, I kid you not, I get 1,200 emails a day. If you want to be on our show and you want a response in a quickly manner, send me a direct message on any of the social media platforms. You can find me anywhere. That is the quickest way to get in touch with me because besides my emails, I do have a 3 and 2-year-old that I am, being held hostage from, and I'm trying to survive that situation. Okay. So on top of that, but with all of that being ado, we love you guys. We're so humbled and grateful that you guys listen to us and tune in. We do this because we love it and we love meeting new authors and hearing their story and passion. So with all that being said, Fern, take it away.
Well, Christine, welcome to our show. And
thank you. It's been fun already.
Well, we just like to keep it, conversational because we feel like we're just having coffee with a friend. So speaking of coffee with friends, you have a cat. You have a cat.
Yes, my cat.
And he has no ears. He's no ears. I want to know how that happened.
So Teddy, was a homeless pet. Well, not a pet, I guess, just a homeless cat in Saskatchewan, Canada. And it was wintertime, -50 degrees outside. And I guess he found his way out of the storm and crawled into somebody's barn and was just tucked away trying to thaw himself. So the cowboy came in and he was going to chip the ice out of the horse trough so he could give his horses fresh water. And he lifted the trough out of the stand, which he normally doesn't do, apparently. And there was a frozen cat laying there. So he bundled the cat up and brought it home and kept it for a few days and then passed it along to some rescue organizations because he has just too many other pets to take care of. He just didn't need a cat on top of that. And so from his frostbite injuries, Teddy lost his ears. His tail's a little bit shorter. He had some soft tissue muscle damage and was limping for quite a few months after we got him in our home. And he can no longer purr. I think probably from the freezing cold.
That is so terrible.
But he's such a happy cat now, aren't you? Yes, you are. You're so beautiful. Very regal in his tuxedo. Reminds me of Russell on the weekend.
Yeah. You're so sweet.
Yeah. Oh, the poor fellow. But besides having gone through this terrible situation, he was your inspiration, yes, for the series of books that you are writing. Tell us a little bit about what made you decide to make Teddy your main character.
Well, Teddy's story, basically. I didn't realize that frostbite injuries were actually quite a common injury. I thought it was a very unique situation. So I wanted to continue to help out the rescue organization because I could no longer foster pets because I ended up adopting Teddy. And he's kind of like a one cat house. I can't have any other pets with him. So even bringing other animals in for adoption, it really stresses him out. He doesn't like it. So I wanted to continue to help the rescue organization by hopefully like getting profitable one day. I do donate a couple dollars from every book sale to them to help out monetarily since I can't foster anymore. But I also just thought Teddy's story needed to be shared. So it's an emotional journey of Teddy, relatable for children because Teddy has no ears and he looks different now and he has to field a lot of questions from his peers about his abnormality. So it just gets people talking and celebrating our differences. And this way children will learn that it's important to keep your pets indoors, whether it's in extreme weather conditions, whether it's extreme cold or extreme hot. There can be damaging lifelong effects. And so I wanted children to carry that message with them through adulthood and be better. When we know more, we do better.
Yes, and that's a beautiful message. And especially with children being in contact with pets is a big thing for them. That helps you to really care for those that need your help and and are not as strong. How many books are there? Because I was looking on the website and it looks like there's more than one book at this time.
Correct. So Teddy Loses His Ears is the first story, and that's kind of an introduction as Teddy as a lovable character into the series, and it gives the backstory so people just know, love, and accept him for who he is. While we were fostering Teddy, one of the very first days we had him, it was spaghetti night, because it's often spaghetti night in our family, at least a couple times a month. And we're all sitting around the table, and the cat just jumps in between the kids and sits there like it's expecting to be served. And we just thought it was so funny and very cute, just a part of the family. And then once everybody was done, the cat actually jumped on the table, knocked over the bowl of spaghetti, and started eating it like I've never seen an animal eat before, like a Rottweiler or something. And I'm like, oh my God, Teddy loves spaghetti. And that's when I kind of clued in, wow, this could be a good title for a book. And so then I started backtracking to the introduction story because I wanted it all to be in chronological order. So Teddy Loves Spaghetti is the second book in the series, and it uses humor to educate children about nutrition and diabetes awareness, and introduction to diabetes awareness. And just because our cats or our pets love human food that is good for us, it could be toxic to them. So just some things to consider. So alternatives to food-based rewards, there's lots of ideas of how kids can reward their pets or themselves and not have it focused around food. Yeah, and then after that is when we actually decided to adopt Teddy. So the third book in the series is called Teddy Gets Adopted, and it highlights more Teddy's journey across Canada and talks a little bit more in depth about the heroes and the helpers that helps Teddy along the way. And it kind of, in my imagination, it backdates Teddy a little bit to kittenhood, and how Teddy maybe lost his family, and maybe where his love from pasta came from, eating out of dumpsters and back alleys behind an Italian restaurant. And I hope this story maybe connects with children who have experienced the foster care system and experienced those losses of loneliness and anxiety about being in these unfamiliar situations, but the caring people that do help along the way. And recognizing them.
There's a lot of kids too that experience homelessness during their childhood because, maybe the parents have been laid off or, some situation has occurred. And so homelessness is a subject that we don't often think affects children. We always think of the homeless as being adults, but there are, homeless families. And so that's a really great message of, that things will pass and that you will have a place of your own eventually. I love that message. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Thank you. Yes, no, that's exactly what it is. It's like Teddy's going through all these hard times, but he never gave up hope. And he perseveres through those hard times. And now he has the life he always dreamed of.
Yeah. Now there was a
Would you like to meet Teddy?
Yes, bring Teddy over.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, sorry, Teddy, I just scared you. That's my beautiful Teddy.
Oh, he's so beautiful. I love the little white paws.
I know, he's got his little booties. And yeah, I think cats with ears look weird now. I just think he's so cute that cats with ears it seems strange to me now. So we just really love him.
That is so cool.
He's my shadow. He's with me everywhere.
Now, Christine, you had a fourth book up there that when Amy showed the pictures, is there another book or is the Finds a Home the newest book?
Yes. So Teddy Gets Adopted is the newest book, and coming soon will be probably not my final book in the series, but the final goal of like our journey together, because these are all based on true events. So Teddy visits the vet after we decided to adopt Teddy. Of course, we brought him for a vet visit and discovered all sorts of things about him. And so I hope this book introduces children to like healthcare processes and questions that they might have. They will learn something about pet care in there. Like, for example, we discovered that Teddy was about 7 years old based on the length of his teeth. So that was an interesting thing to learn. Like, how do they really just determine how old pets are? We just talk about this is Teddy's first time seeing a vet because of his homelessness, and he felt frightened and scared, and it gives kids maybe some coping mechanisms and teaches them how to breathe and self-soothe. There's more like non-parental roles and pronoun awareness in this book. And there's a surprise at the end that we found out about Teddy that is really quite exciting. And it's all about just celebrating Teddy's descriptive qualities and just knowing exactly who they are.
I love it. I love it. So we know that Teddy was the inspiration for these books. What inspired you to become a writer? Where did your journey as a writer begin?
Yeah, so it actually began right then and there, a year and a half ago, when we adopted Teddy, and my children's reactions to some of these things that we experienced through this adoption process was inspiring to me as well. And I'm like, wow, I think other kids could relate to this too, and there's some good messages here. But, I always did actually think about being a writer. Started in my early 20s. I was traveling all over the world, and I'd be gone for months and months at a time. And so I would just email kind of my travel blogs to family and friends. And they were always like, wow, it's so descriptive and vivid, and we feel like we're right there with you, and you should be a writer. People would encourage me. And I did have ideas throughout the years, like just a dating disasters story, because between me and my friends, we've had a whole lot of like crazy, terrible dating situations. So, but I started writing that, never kind of got off. But once I had kids, I just started reading more and more children's books, and I'm like, wow, I like this simplicity and with complex messages that children really can digest and they understand, and how smart kids are beyond their age level. So that's really what I wanted to do, is change our world, starting with small people when it comes to like being good pet owners.
I love it. So I know you said this is definitely not, the end of this series, that you're probably going to keep going. And yes, you have the inspiration right there. I'm sure he'll give you plenty of other stories to write about.
Unlimited inspiration.
Have you thought about, or are you thinking about maybe writing other books besides just focusing on Teddy, maybe exploring other areas of writing?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, because a couple weekends ago, I took my children to a reptile expo, just as it was a rainy day, and it was like a really cheap activity. And who doesn't love reptiles and learning and stuff like that? So we went there, and little did I know that I was going to come home with a python.
Oh my God. Okay.
We have a second pet now, because like I said, with Teddy, I can't really have a conventional another pet. And we just learned so much about snakes while we were at this expo, and it was extremely interesting. And what a low maintenance, amazing pet this has been so far. And, but what I learned is when I posted it on Facebook, I had about 150 people tell me that they're never coming to my house ever again, because they're like scared of snakes. And so I thought, well, maybe Teddy and the python's name is Peanut. Maybe Peanut and Teddy could do an adventure together, or we could just focus on the slithering adventures of Peanut the python, and maybe educate people about snakes and those fears, and maybe judging somebody based on how it looks, without actually knowing much about
bad
it.
reputations. Yes, because they do bad reputation.
That's right.
I think pythons may have earned their reputation. I'm not gonna pretend like what they call pythons in Louisiana.
I agree with Russell.
What do they
Lunch.
wait, what do they call them in Louisiana? I'm not familiar with it.
Lunch.
Oh my Lord.
I do agree with Russell. I mean, I do have things, but I will also say, in my defense, I do like the show Snake City. I just can't I don't know. I touched a snake one time in my backyard, and if I could have run 50 miles and got an award, I probably
Okay,
would.
I'm gonna flip sides on you because
Mm-mm.
I was raised this way about snakes. You don't kill snakes. Snakes are beneficial.
I didn't kill the snake.
Right.
I didn't kill it.
I'm just saying, snakes
Yeah.
are beneficial.
I
So,
mean, if I unexpectedly came across a snake, I would freak out too. Okay.
oh really? I mean,
Okay.
I was raised in West Texas where snakes were just a part of your life, including rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
And one of the things was you don't kill them because they're beneficials.
They
Yeah.
are. They are. Well, and all of the animals are really beneficial to our world. Even though I hate mosquitoes and they hate me, well, they actually love me. They always want to eat me, but I don't, but I hate them for that. I feel like they must have a benefit. I feel like the whole ecosystem, obviously, when we're learning about the ecosystem, there is a benefit to all animals. But I will say this about snakes. I am so happy to hear about happy books where snakes are the main character and they're good. Because so many snakes in literature are portrayed as evil. Like in the Jungle Book, right? And, other places. It's like snakes have a good side. Why are they always evil?
Because it's a part of the mythology of humanity.
Well, we
And
need
a
to
snake
break
is
free.
always sizing you up as his next
It's
meal.
transcendent of cultures.
That's true.
But also, I think snakes have a bad reputation, just like pit bulls. Like, it's all in how you raise the dog. So with snakes, I'm not going to let my snake sleep in my toddler's bed because I think it's such a good pet. I mean, I'm not crazy. The snake is going to start sizing it up as its next meal because that's just inherently what they do. But as long as the snake is contained in the cage, I mean, this snake is beautiful and it's obviously very healthy because it's always slithering around and it's so majestic and mysterious and enchanting watching how it moves around. And yeah, it's quite an amazing animal, I think.
But you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I like how you went to this reptile exhibit and you came home with an animal because I do that. I can't go to an animal shelter unattended. I have to have someone there because
we already know how you ended up with an extra dog. You waited until Josh left town.
I did. No, that is a true statement. I waited till my husband went out of town and I went and got a dog. And, lo and behold, it is a pit bull, but I did totally do that. That is a true statement. I also went to look at a kitten for my husband when, I don't know, we had just gotten married. We were like a year married or whatever. And then I was going to go to the puppies and I was going to get a puppy. I came home with 2 cats. I can't be trusted at shelters. I can't.
Well, I tried to defer to the dad. My kids are like, can we get a snake, please, please, please? I'm like, we're not getting a snake. Like, we're not. But I actually really love snakes. In my kindergarten class, that was our class pet. We would all sit around in a circle and the teacher would let the boa constrictor loose and it would slither to whatever kid it wanted to hang out with that day. Obviously, that wouldn't happen nowadays. That was the 70s. But I'm like, no, we're not getting a snake. And then I just looked at the dad and I'm like, do you want to? And he didn't say no. So if he's not going to say no, I'm not going to say no.
I had the same. Well, when I was teaching full time, I had a tarantula in my classroom as my class pet. And those are another animal that often gets a bad reputation. And they're really quite calm and beautiful. Snakes are beautiful. And you can learn so much from these animals and how they live their life. But I had the same reaction from many people. It was like, oh, we're not going to come visit your classroom. We're not going to come hang out at your house over the summer, Fern, because you got this crazy tarantula. People get scared of it, but it's really quite a beautiful, majestic animal.
And so many people are like, I can't believe you did that. Snakes are carnivorous. They're gonna eat your cat. I'm like, okay, well, cats are carnivores too, and I'm not gonna toss my cat into the secure snake cage and let them battle it out and throw down bets on them. like, I'm pretty sure we're going to be okay.
Yeah. That is so crazy. But yes, no, but I agree with the whole like being careful not to end up adopting extra pets. That's why I don't foster, because it wouldn't leave. Okay.
It's hard. It's hard. You have to foster like kittens and puppies that you know are going to get adopted quickly. And then you just have the fun stage of like the kittens and the puppies. And then you get to name them all and kind of write up a little personality biography for the rescue organization. And you know you're not going to have them long. All those animals are going to get scooped up. And so, but you know that you helped out. But if it was an elderly animal like Teddy that, you know, is a bit different and stuff like that, you're not sure if they're going to get adopted for a while. And that's when you can wind up with a house full of pets.
Yeah, but I love this. I love how, you know, you're teaching so many cool things through these books, and the love of animals and the appreciation of the animals around us. And because we need to remember that we are stewards of our planet, you know, and included is these beautiful animals. We move into their habitat and then we're surprised when they come out. You know?
Fern, you don't move into any animal's habitat.
No, I stay in urban settings that
You
have
stay
already
in your
invaded
house.
habitat. Yeah.
Other humans move into their habitat.
Yes.
Is what you mean.
Good clarification, Russell. Good clarification. Yeah, no, nature and I have an agreement of mutual non-aggression. You know, I don't go into it. It doesn't come to me. Although I had to kill a wasp in here the other day again. Happily, it wasn't online. You know, we weren't live for that one. I don't know why.
Well, another cool thing about the reptile expo is I walked away with a couple of carnivorous plants. So those will eat the flies.
Okay, I love those things. They're the most fascinating, I wonder because those plants, they're so, I mean, you call them carnivorous, but they're very gentle plants. And they die very easily. I don't know how they live in the forest.
Yeah, right? I know. So, because I was looking for a Venus flytrap, and the guy said, I don't sell those because they're really hard to keep alive. So he ended up giving me like some sundials or something, which are very different looking. They're cool. They have like tentacle, like arms, and then all the little tentacles. And then that's what grabs onto the fly, and then it kind of curls around it. And unfortunately, they're very temperamental. Like, you have to keep them in a humid climate with a lid. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, how's it going to eat flies? And they're like, well, you're going to have to hand feed it. Wingless flies. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So we had a huge fly in my master bathroom the other day, and it's not even fly season here. I'm like, where did this thing come from? And it's massive. It looks like it's like 4 years old, this fly. I'm whacking it in the bathroom, and it wouldn't die. It just kept staying alive. I must have hit it like 38 times, and me and the kids were screaming. It was quite the event. So once it was dead, I placed it on the tentacles of the plant, and it curled up around it, and now it's gone.
Oh my God. Okay. That would be awesome to watch it eat. You know, I used to love to do that with my tarantula, because that's when you could really appreciate the size of the fangs, because they would come out. I mean, watching these things eat would be, but kudos that you're actually feeding it flies. Where do you get flies to feed it, besides the ones that, you know, invade your house and that you try to whack and kill? But like, where do you go for food for that?
Apparently they sell it at the pet store. I had no idea this when I got it. It was later I referred to my friend. He has a critter company, Mike's Critters, and he does like birthday parties for children, and he brings all his animals: chinchillas, stick bugs, tarantulas, snakes, whatever you name it. So he told me he used to have about 140 carnivorous plants, and that you have to hand feed them wingless fruit flies. And I was like, thanks for telling me, because I had no idea.
Ooh, well, yes, that makes sense, because that's where I used to get the crickets too.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, returning to the books after going down that rabbit hole. So these are beautiful picture books, and so I wanted to ask about the artwork. Did you do the artwork yourself? Did you hire an illustrator? How did that go?
I did. She is so talented. Her name is Sierra Van Ness. There's just so much detail in these books, and everything, believe it or not, is hand painted by her. It's not done on a computer.
I love
She's
that.
so talented. Sierra Van Ness is her name. So she lives in my community. I did not know her prior to the Teddy books so I was going to write and illustrate these books with my daughter. She was 8 years old at the time, and she is a very good artist. But so I wrote the story, and I'm like, here, go with some pictures. And she just had her own interpretation and started writing her own stories and just not really paying attention to me. It would have been 10 years before I got these books out if I relied on my daughter. So it just happened to be, because I also make soaps. I'm also the soap barista. So I was posting some of my seasonal soaps for sale on a local handmade Facebook marketplace website. And as I was scrolling through, I saw this girl, Sierra, posted hand painted cards. And so I just really connected with her artwork. Oh, I know why. She had a picture of a cat named Milky. And Milky is actually my nickname growing up all through high school because my last name is Milkovich. And so anyway, I said to her, is this somebody's pet? Why is it named that? So I just started the conversation with her. And then I said, hey, here's a picture of my cat. Can you draw a picture of it with a bowl of spaghetti on its head and one where his ears are actually melting off from ice? Very hard for somebody to paint that, I would think. Mm-hmm. And then she just messaged me. She said, yo, your photos are ready. And I went and met her, and they were beautiful. And I have the original artwork. And I said, these look like covers of a book. Would you be interested? I know you're raising money to put yourself through nursing school. Would you be interested in, collaborating on a book with me? And I'll double what you were asking per page. And yeah, she was like, yeah, I'm on board. So I sent her the story, and she just nailed it. It's like we were just completely on the same page with how we saw the visuals coming to life. So yeah, I didn't know her from Adam when I messaged her on, and now we collaborate on all the books, go for brunch and kind of storyboard everything out. And it actually, the 6 degrees of separation is funny because apparently her dad is a supervisor I'm a border officer. So he's a superintendent and I'm an officer. I never met him, but when people I work with ordered my books, they're like, oh, this is a Van Ness, Sierra Van Ness. This is a very unique name. I wonder if she's related to so-and-so. And then her and I had never talked about jobs before. We only ever focused on the artwork. And turns out, yeah. So her and her father and me have the same job.
That is so cool. That is how life goes. That's how life goes. Yeah. All right. So we're coming close to the end. And I know that one of the things that we always want to say, and I'm beating Russell to it, he's going to have to think of something else to say as he closes, but where can people find your book?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they can just go on Amazon. They are available worldwide. I also have a website if people feel like they want to see more pictures of Teddy at home or print off coloring sheets for their children and know more about Teddy's story. They can go to my website, www.christinemilkovic-krauss.com, or Google me, it'll come up. And they could also see the books and updates there. I also have a Facebook page. Teddy has a Facebook page. So Teddy likes to post cat memes and little, tips and for pet care on there. And also you'll see Teddy relaxing at home and doing all sorts of fun stuff with the family. So people can always find us there on Facebook and message me anytime.
Very cool.
I love it. Russell, what about you? Closing statement, comments, questions?
Well, the one thing that I have, where are you in Canada, Christine?
Oh, I'm, Vancouver, BC. So West Coast. I'm about 15 or 20 minutes north of the Washington border.
Okay. So you're in pretty much heaven where you live.
Yeah, we have all the 4 seasons.
Yes, it's the most beautiful place.
Thank you.
I love it.
And I can't wait to get to Texas one day. That's where you're all from?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, yeah. Russell's currently somewhere else. Russell, where are you?
I'm in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoying those peaches.
The peaches, in my opinion, from the hill country in Texas are sweeter.
Fredericksburg peaches?
It's the same thing. Yes, but they last a lot longer in Georgia. That's another story.
Russell's full of stories. But Christine, thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to come and talk to us and let us meet Teddy and just hear your story. All of us are animal lovers, and so we were so excited that you could join us this morning.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much, and nice to see you again, Amy, and nice to meet you, Russell and Fern.
Absolutely. So you guys, we hope you all have a fantastic Monday, a great rest of your week, and until next time, we'll see you all next Monday.